be honest, and I would like to say that this year is 50 years anniversary of my professional opera stage.
Oh.
And I'm still singing, not so intensively like it was before, but I'm very proud that I have ability to come to the stage and to be part of wonderful productions in European theaters. Subject is very, very interesting. How to prepare a new role. Because in many places and in many theaters, I would be absolutely honest, directors are not interested about music. They're doing their own performance, they're doing their own story, ignoring what composer did. For instance, if we're talking about Il Trovatore, it's supposed to be nowadays and the ugly story, and who remember about 7 years war in Spain that time? Nobody. So that is making you more valuable and more important to create your own role. So when you are taking first time score, you have probably no idea or slight idea about what it's all about. And in this case, very important to know about this story, especially if it's history, to know everything around the story. Why it's written, who is the heroes, and what's going on, when it's happened, where, etc., etc., etc. If we're talking about historical things like Othello, for instance, very important to know what kind of character has your personage, your hero, what you're about to learn about, to be in his own scheme. And that is provoking, that's provoking you to read and to ask your probably friends, if you have friends with knowledge, historical knowledge, asking more and more who you are in this opera. Why Scarpia so ugly character? Why he became? Was he from his childhood? No, probably not. The power gave him opportunity to forget about really human things. Why? Now I'm talking about Baritone's role because that's my own experience. Why Pizarro in Fidelio, the character like that? Why? What's happened? And you need to know that in Fidelio time, in Spain, used to be private prisons. And Pizarro is the owner of that prison. So you need to know these kind of things to understand the character of your role, of your hero. So how to prepare? Because when you're coming to the theater, when you're receiving contract for this role or that role, you need to come and know by memory musical things, to sing without score. And usually directors at the theater, they have no time to work with you personally for your own character. You need to show them that you are ready and you know what it's all about. That is very important. I remember very well 1983, Covent Garden, George Scholti asked me to do Iago, first time. 93, sorry. Thank you. 93. I never did it before, and he told me, don't do it before we are doing together. Because it's for me, it's very important. I would like to make that role with you, myself. And I start reading about the time, the historical things. Then I grab the Shakespeare's Othello, start reading, and didn't understand a word, really, because it's written Old English language, and to understand for me as a foreigner, that old style of English language is not possible. I just closed the book and find the wonderful translation. I read it in Russian, absolutely. And then later, I just start looking for original text and translation. Word to word, exactly the meaning what Shakespeare did. Exactly. That is because probably I need to remember the Emperor Alexander III in Russia, who made decree and asked famous writers or poets to be translators from original language in opera into Russian language, to involve more and more audience to the theater, like English National Opera in London in English, everything in English, to bring more another generation to the theater. That's very important. So finally I found that is absolutely precise translation, and I start reading that Shakespeare's story, and then I understood that Iago has very complicated character. It's not easy. He's not just ignorant person. No, he's suffering. He's suffering because in the first scene he's saying to Rodrigo, I was brave enough. I was the first on the wall or fortress, but I'm not an officer. I'm just secretary. And that is making him like what he did, you know, what he did with Othello, with Desdemona, with Cassio, with, you know, with everything. But very interesting situation. My wife reminded me today. She said, if you will remember that story, tell to the audience that Iago in credo, his big lie, he's lying in credo as well. Look into the music, what kind of music you have, and what you're supposed to do with that music to make it more lyric character or more ugly. You need to know how to change your voice to make different things on stage. So that is first step when you open the score, when you open the book, especially, I just repeat, especially if it's historical piece. If it's not historical piece, so better to have a look for different kind of video in YouTube, etc. Especially if it's Wagnerian things, or Wagnerian opera, or contemporary music. It's very important to have a look and to know what this director or this conductor and this conductor or director likes to do in the opera stage. Many things would bother you because it's not comfortable, any opera not comfortable from first moment. You need to be inside the story, you need to be inside the music and to learn very carefully music. When you're finishing with your knowledge about story, you can go and open the piano score. And here I told today the best person who can help you would be a pianist who is next to you and who you trust absolutely. So that, because without a very good pianist, you couldn't do the wonderful job to learn. And I told today during a masterclass, please, if you're learning something, please do it precisely and not coming back for some improvement. Again, I told today that I have experience with very known in Russia. I was born in Russia. I used to work in Russian theaters. Very known piece, Evgeny Onegin. I started doing Onegin, the title role, when I was very young, when I was a student in opera studio, in conservatory, and then in one theater, then in another, the Mariinsky Theater. So, but when in 1983, Maestro Timerkanov started doing a new production of Evgeny Onegin, I understood that I need to improve that role, because as a student I did it with many mistakes, and I spent for that 1 year to make role once more. So I beg you, please, if you're learning something, learn not to come back to this music. Okay? Learn forever, without any mistakes. That's very important. That sometimes it takes to learn music. Sometimes it takes 2-3 weeks. Sometimes half a year. It's depending what kind of music that one, what kind of free time you have to pay attention for this new piece. But I know, and many people are, I think, will follow me with this thing. I never did new opera roles in advance. Only when I received an offer. Then I start doing that. But oh, please, maybe you can learn this piece. But when the premiere, when the opera? Oh, we don't know. Probably that would be nothing. And probably that's correct way to work, because you need to make and to live with plan for tomorrow, for next week, for next month, for next year. You know, I have the very thick 5 years diary, and I'm writing. I'm pencils first, and then when it's happening with a pen, I'm just writing what kind of performances, what kind of air company I'm flying with, etc., etc. My former impresario, Robert Slotover from London, his wife called that diary an optimistic book, because for 5 years. I don't know how many books I have, but I'm looking now for another one. And that is make your life much easier, much more precise and planned, because this is very important to know what to expect next month, where you are, how to prepare yourself. Okay, that is, you learn that with pianists, you learn opera, fine, you are coming to first rehearsal at the rehearsal stage. Bless you. So, what kind of situation? Director, his assistant, pianist, conductor's assistant, and your friends from the cast. First rehearsal. Sometime director is looking at you and he knows mainly what you allowed to do and giving some tips. Please do that, do that, do that. That's one way. Another way, when you see director first time and he as well never met you, he is looking at you and making proposal. Okay, you are sitting here, you are sitting here. Okay, you are here. Then when you seeing that, change your position, and then step by step, opera coming to the first opening night. That's what's happened with Lulu in Hamburg a couple of years ago. Director, very quiet, very gentle, moved us for the whole stage, and then in 1 week time we understood that's ready, done. So sometimes director really ugly and stupid. I used to get that experience as well. that was in Trovatore in Vienna many years ago, and director shouting and screaming, you know, the sword not long enough, scandal. Cloak not heavy enough, scandal. You moving 2 steps forward, scandal. And once, and Placido Domingo used to be on that production, and once director was shouting at him, and later I said, Placido, that was my first meeting with Domingo, first production together, and I was asking, Placido, tell me please, how it's possible? You are so famous, and he's saying some such ugly words to you. He said, remember, my dear, since you signed the contract, you are becoming a slave of production team and the opera direction. You have choice. Either you are following that ugly production, or you say bye-bye. What's happened in La Scala when one Russian director came to do Rigoletto, and he decided to make a circus with portraits of Mussolini, Hitler, Stalin, etc., etc., so political. What is his name? My goodness. Very famous Italian baritone, not Bruzon, but
Cappuccilli?
No, not Cappuccilli, no. Leonucci. At the first interval, Nucci came to the director and said, in English, he speaks absolutely fluent English, but that time he made huge Italian accent. He said, Leo loves opera. Leo loves bed. Leo goes home. And left. So that's only a way to escape. Only a way not to be in that production what you don't like. Ramon Vargas, we spoke many years ago. Zubin Mehta rang us and said, Vera Sergei, come tomorrow for the dress rehearsal of Rigoletto because it would be a scandal. We came, curtains up, sphere, and the profiles of theaters and recognizable theaters. Leftovers from shuttle or rocket or whatever. Rigoletto is astronaut. Helmet, silver, not a white, sort of metallic costume. Gilda following him, and
oh, I know who that is.
Okay, Gilda was Lady Godiva because when she released her hair used to be up to the floor or down to the floor, and all and Duke and his company used to be monkeys and Planet of Apes. So in pyjama Louis Vuitton, mask was like this, and you couldn't recognize who is who. If you don't know the story, you don't understand. she released her wonderful hair and start embrace Duke and seduce him. First time we saw when curtain was up was boom at the theater. People were screaming, but that was really good for publicity for director. Everyone was talking about that ugly production and mentioned his name. The best, what could be better? Nothing. So that is, and Ramon Vargas, who came to sing Duke, he looked first time and said, "Oh, excuse me, my voice, sorry, I have a cold. I'm leaving," and left. But if you do that, be careful, because you should do it very soft, very gentle, with beautiful smiles, to come and say, "Excuse me, but I'm not better. I will come. Could you find somebody else?" So that is way to escape. But if you are at a new production, new stage, and rehearsal by rehearsal, you understand what director is doing, how his vision, dear to you or close to you, to your vision of this role, of this opera, and then you coming to the stage. The best way, even you know by memory your role. Doesn't matter. It's big theater, small theater, student stage, doesn't matter. But please still work with pianists. You can ask theater to give you, because to bring your own pianist, that would be a little bit too expensive for you. But theater has for every production certain pianists, and ask at the theater to give some hours to practice, because that should be your own victory, your own role, and you need to be absolutely sure that what you're doing is absolutely correct and successful. Never coming without that help from musical staff of the theater to the premiere. Never. Because first time, nerves. Who knows what can happen? You need to repeat and repeat and repeat, even if you not first time with this role. Just be comfortable with this atmosphere, with this scenery set, with these partners, because many things should happen. I remember we did Il Trovatore in Vienna, and Aprile Millo, you know that soprano. I was Tomilia, ripeti, just embrace her, and she's, "Don't touch me, don't." What's happened? Finally, he came to my dressing room after the show and said, "Sergei, sorry, forgive me, but I have food allergy, and I ate something, and I was scared that you squeezed me, and..." So, you never know what's going on. And if you're not certain with this moment, with this music, you never know what's going on. You can stop on the stage, and orchestra and conductors, they don't like to get that kind of situation. No. Preparation is the major part of your success. To learn, then start working for this piece. That's very, very important. Then many conductors, they not paying attention for singers. For them, the most important to be together with orchestra, or orchestra together with him, and to conduct that, and what singers are doing, but there are many exceptions. The first, that how I met George Scholti in Covent Garden, Otello, what he was doing. He practically every day, when I was at the theater, he was asking to give personal coaching with him, and was pianist, him and myself. And he said, okay, let's do this phrase. Okay, could you sing this phrase? I sang, okay, try with this kind of voice, try with this color of your voice. No, okay, let's come back to first version, but if we're doing that slowly, a little bit slower, that would be, yes, like this, okay. Then, orchestra rehearsals, or Sitzprobe. And the cast was Kiri Tekanova, Placido Domingo, so not bad cast at all. So he did very fast, because, and Placido and Kiri, they sang before that roles, and he was absolutely sure that would be okay. He released them. Sergei on stage. I came on stage, and with orchestra, let's try how we did in yesterday in class, this first time with this kind of color of your voice. No, it's not working. No, let's go to the second version. Okay, that is, and then step by step he did that role with me. That's very important, and also try to be, if you're coming for rehearsals, try to get friends among the production team. That's very important, because they will support you, they will follow you, and then will help you if you have any problem, any question.